activate the DNA in such a powerful way that you self-organize into the most sacred geometry for that navigation. Now, you go through metamorphosis all the time, and your ability to access these states has a lot to do with your pineal gland. Okay? Your DNA, you are mutating your DNA every generation that you enter into a heightened state of awareness. So every generation that is holding Christ consciousness, for example, bloodlines like these very special bloodlines that descend from these, and so when I talk about Christ consciousness, I'm not just talking about Jesus and the story of Jesus as laid out to you through Bibles or the religion itself. I'm talking about the examples of illumination and the process of illumination that has been suppressed through history, which is the secret encoded within our physical body of transmutation, alchemizing the sexual energy into multidimensional energy. And that is done by bringing up that primordial life force up the spinal cord and cultivating it in the pineal gland in order to create crystals. Crystals that, when they are disorganized and out of body, the entire multidimensional vessel is disorganized. The kind of contact and interactions that you're having are disorganized. So the reorganization of your chakra system, the reconnection to yourself, to the solar system and the cycles of the solar system, allow you to activate and align your crystals in the pineal gland. And the crystallization of this then turns into the substance, a biochemical substance in your body that allows you to navigate higher dimensions. Now, if you create a human being when you are in this state, you mutate DNA in such a way from lower form, you are alchemizing DNA from lower functioning DNA, lower activated, suppressed DNA, into a DNA that is highly, highly conducive. It is the gold that was sought after by Anunnaki races and by all of these different races through history that have revered these hidden meanings of gold and the alchemical transmutation of the human vessel. This can only be sustained and cultivated in the body through unconditional love. And the creation of anything through unconditional love results in sacred geometry. Okay? And we know this through Dr. Emoto's work, his cultivation of speaking into the water becoming a crystal, and that crystal having a perfect geometric symmetry. Okay, so there are special codes to this world and to this human experience. It's very important that you understand that the cultivation of your pineal gland is essentially something that you are creating in this universe. So when you are in the process of bringing a life into this planet, into this world, you want to create that life from this state. Because this is actually the awakened human, the new human, moving into this generation. And this information has been hidden and suppressed for a very long time because there is a certain kind of eugenics program in this world where this information about your sacred DNA is known, but inverted and utilized from the inside out. The collection of your genetic data as a database is the collection of an internet system, an artificial database of information that is so incredibly powerful. And when utilized in an inverted way, can further the suppression of humanity if humanity doesn't wake up consciousness to dissolve that timeline. Okay, so our utilization of our genetic data is the ability, the mastery over how we imploding in that genetic code, your bioelectrical conductivity. And to self-organize your information of your DNA means to clean up ancestral history, terrestrial, interdimensionally. So what are we doing with this physical body is that every generation that brings a heightened state of alchemical creation into an organism, that child is born extremely intuitive. They can navigate dream state. They're completely awake. They're seeing beings all around them. And us as parents, we have to learn how to nourish and nurture that consciousness so that it doesn't become suppressed the way we were suppressed when we were children by unconscious parenting. So becoming a parent, you are all parents because we are all creators. Okay? And so we learn how to co-create in this universe in such a powerful way, and we are so deeply interconnected to one another that the nurturing of our own ability to manifest and create is not limited to our immediate environment. And your child is a universe. I want you to think of your child as a universe because within their chakra system is portal ways into these dimensional realms. And they have the ability to access that information. The sooner they access that information, the sooner they will come into their purpose, the more they will unlock advanced technology, advanced information, healing, whatever it is that can be channeled through the human vessel when you are connected to the morphogenetic field and through the DNA of the earth, is information that cannot be made up. It cannot be imagined. It cannot be made up. It cannot be calculated. And we are kind of at the same pace in some kind of imaginary race with artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence is computing this information, this awareness of how these multidimensional organisms function. And this is the awareness. But if you, as the human, as the participant on this planet, which there are far more conscious beings on this planet than there are these controlling systems, okay, of unconscious or perpetrators of unconsciousness, which is our own shadow, which is our own parasitism. It's a reflection of our own parasitism, okay? So the more you undo that parasitism within you, we begin to shift timelines collectively of what will be done with this inorganic and organic technology. But in order to do that, you must activate your organic technology, which is your ability to navigate into these higher realms. I think my slides are coming up slower. But the key in this moment, let me just move forward here, is that as we align with the movement of this solar system, we are really beginning to connect with universal consciousness. Okay, and my homework for you in this, as a result of today's conference, is that you begin to work with your information. First of all, in your contact experience, understand that every single being that you're interacting with is conscious. Every single organism that you are interacting with is a conscious organism, and that through your physical body, through the opening of the gateways of your chakra system, lies the memories of yourself as interdimensional beings. It is extremely important that you learn how to embody the 0 point. What is the 0 point? The 0 point is your state of non-duality, when you can enter into a perception that is non-dualistic, that is non-judgmental, that you are not immediate to apply meaning to the things that you experience, because as soon as you apply meaning, you define what you're experiencing. And you can be 100% sure that the definition that you're putting on that is going to be very ignorant and very limited, because our growth lies in the experience of the unknown. Our evolution lies in the ability to master the navigation of the unknown. So our processes that we have within the physical body, our organism, has to be trained first in the nervous system in order to be able to sustain judgment when you are in the presence of, let's say, a draconian. Okay. or an incredible being that you've never encountered before. Because what happens, and this comes up a lot in my groups, in my support groups, right? So I host international contact support groups, and in these groups we talk a lot about the experiences that happen. And one of the things that comes up a lot is that when an experience is happening and you immediately enter into an emotion, it's going to snap you out of that experience, because again, these subtle realms are based on vibration. And the human that is like a baby that doesn't know how to cultivate their energy system and their vibrational frequency, ends up in a sense, it's kind of like polluting or bringing into that space a vibrational frequency that doesn't match, that doesn't fit, right? It's like entering a conversation that you don't know what you're talking about. So essentially we have to learn how to master this physical vessel in a way that you learn how to discern the environment that you're entering into, and at the same time be able to refine your frequency simultaneously in order to align with the greatest good of this event that you're entering into. And that really requires mastery, but this is what we train through lucid dreaming. Okay, so the next step is that actually lucid dreaming is extremely important for your ascension. Okay, because in lucid dreaming, this is the place that you're going to be navigating. You're going to be navigating in your dream time. You might think that these are abstract dreams, and the more unconscious you are, the more abstract your dreams are going to be. But the more you wake up consciousness and you start working with your fear-based programs, the more you're going to refine your frequency, which allows you to travel into these dimensions more lucidly. And you want to wake up lucidity. So take a class on lucid dreaming. I teach a class. You can sign up for my class on my website, but absolutely must learn lucid dreaming. This is basic 101 taught by every ancient culture in our history, is the ability to walk in dreams, navigate the out-of-body experiences, because that's actually where the real world is happening. Not okay. Now that doesn't mean that you're going to just let go of the life here. This life is the absolute key to accessing those realms. You won't be able to access those realms if you don't have mastery over your life here. And the ability to access lucidity is through the cultivation of your emotions. So we can't walk around becoming triggered by the external world. We can't repeat traumas that have been self-destructive behaviors for generations, because again, what you're going to experience will be that in your dream state. Traumatic experiences, fearful things, very inharmonious experiences with other interdimensional beings. You're basically interacting with parasites, because in a way you are becoming a parasite. You embody parasitism within your consciousness. Okay, so self-love, the acceptance of yourself, is the universal gateway to ascension. Your ability to integrate these fractals of yourself by compassion and unconditional love, you can either do it through hypnotherapy or you can do it in your meditation as you begin to uncover these layers. But every single one of these fractals of yourself and the awareness of how to transcend those scenarios in those experienced lifetimes. So every single one of these lifetimes as well are simultaneous. So there's many layers here, right? There's the ancestral lineage, ancestral programs, which is the immediate genetic code. And then we have our past lives. Okay, so if you could think of this image in front of you as a DNA strand holographically expressed through rings of vibrational frequency. The more immediate rings of this DNA are the things that you're accessing in the physical body. So your immediate life limitations and your expressions, your ancestral lineage. And then as you move into the next ring, as you wake up consciousness, it's your past lives. And included in your past life is all your ancestral lineage that you're experiencing currently. Okay, going into the next ring, you begin to enter into interdimensional aspects of yourself. Okay, and all of these are existing simultaneous to you. So, how do you cultivate this in your body? Is that you begin to understand and integrate all of these different layers of yourself. Okay, the personality as just a survival mechanism. Okay, and the ego as a tool for navigation in separation. The whole point of this navigation is that you begin to alchemize lower dimensional awareness into unity consciousness. Okay, creator states, extremely important, and I talk a lot about this on my channel. Are you a creator in separation, or are you a creator in unity? So what we're going to do is that through the alchemization of your DNA, the kind of beings that you interact with in the 7th through 13th dimensional plane, all of the interdimensional beings that you're interacting with are essentially they are your genetic cousins. Okay, so we don't interact with anything that we don't have in our DNA. That's something that I want to make pretty clear. Everything that we have encoded in our DNA, every interaction that we have it in our biology. We even have a reptilian brain. When we gestate in the womb, we are evolving from reptilian state into a state of a mammal, and then into the state of a humanoid. All of that is a fractal of the evolutionary process of every organism that has descended from each one of these dimensional planes. Okay, so every single one of these dimensional planes that we interact with connect. Take a look. What are the solar systems that you have activated many lifetimes? Okay, so here's another very important thing. The solar systems that you interact with, okay, the planetary systems that you are most connected with, is also telling you your ascension story. The many generations that you have existed on different solar systems. So let's say you have an affinity to the Pleiadian star system. Okay, so that means that you have existed in the Pleiadian system many lifetimes, and you are doing so simultaneously. How do you use this information? You want to learn, what did you learn, what you are learning in those lifetimes as a Pleiadian. Because your soul that is collecting information from every single one of these timelines is learning simultaneously to your now moment. And you might see, for example, your brother in this lifetime is deeply connected to many of your lifetimes in those Pleiadian realms as well. And so the alchemy that we're talking about is, as you learn what your lessons are in all of these simultaneous lifetimes, you alchemize your DNA, you activate more DNA. And when you transcend the challenges of those lifetimes and you learn how you've transcended them, you are also learning how to transcend your lifetime here. This is the power of activating your DNA, and it is the power of cultivating. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm okay on time. Neil, am I okay on time? How am I doing on time?
You are doing very well on time. Let me see here real quick. Oh, actually, time is flying. So you have another. If you can close out within 10 minutes, that'd be great.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you so much. Okay. So let's quickly talk about the morphogenetic field really quickly. Okay, because there's an element to this that is really powerful about this ascension process interdimensionally, that we are so deeply interconnected. Okay, and the more you connect with nature, the more these patterns and these networks of information will become obvious to you. Because just the way patterns of weather are organized on the earth, just the way flocks of birds fly in self-organizing systems, just the way the mycelia of mushrooms intercommunicate with trees and other organisms that are around them. We as humans are deeply self-organized on the planet Earth, and we incarnate into families. We incarnate into the countries, into the races in our on our Earth, um, in order for us to carry out these interdimensional contractual agreements. So your DNA here on Earth is similar to the DNA that you have interdimensionally, which is why you resonate with specific genetic, these species, certain species. Now, if you think of species not as the specific species of a Lyran, Arcturian, Pleiadian, Reptilian, if you think of it more of a vibrational frequency, you will then kind of begin to understand. And if you think of it more as a sacred geometry, even more. But in our physical bodies, we are learning collectively here on Earth, which is why contact happens with people we know. And so does the hybridization program. In the hybridization program, we sometimes discover that we have been united with other contactees in order to create a hybrid. Now, these genetic manipulations, in a sense, can be used in two different ways, in a negative way, but also in a positive way. And we can barely understand in our human mind the kind of agreements that we make in these dream states, which is why lucidity is so important. But this interconnectivity that we're going through collectively, your job as this ascended master here on this earth is for you to master your lucidity in your waking state and dream state so that you can become very clear as to your intention behind your creation. The most important thing, do you create from love or do you create from fear? And are you in the process of cultivating the transmutational ability to create? Because repeating a pattern, which is repeating from fear, that's what all our prior generations have been their block is that they create from fear. And we have to understand that we are so deeply interconnected that every single choice, every word that you speak, every thought that you have, you are creating. And right now, the vibrational frequency of this universe has sped up so much that manifestation is immediate. So all of the things that you have been thinking subconsciously and fearing in your past are manifesting into the physical. So again, this 8 year of karma means that all of those little hidden parts of you are going to be coming to the forefront for you to decide and discern whether you want to sustain that frequency within your body or not.
Geraldine,
Yes.
really quick, our next guest is going to be running late, so you have an extra 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, great.
If you could also talk about your upcoming webinar in March somewhere before you close out too.
Oh yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, so what we are refining here, hold on, let me just remember what I was just saying. The alchemization, what was my point there? Okay, the alchemization of, okay, yes, unified families of consciousness. Okay, so the ability to transmute genetic data, which is from the fear to love, is what is going to affect your manifestation right now. Okay, and so learning how the mechanics of manifestation functions is completely essential to you right now. Okay, so since I have a little bit more time, let me see if I can find that really quickly. Yeah, okay. So within the cells of your body, um, we are a bioelectric system. Each one of your cells is oscillating. Each one of those oscillations of the cells create bioelectrical systems. And through that electricity, conductivity, is where information is passed on. Now, in addition to that, these quantum particles that exist in your body are also holding memory. Okay, again, ascension, activation of DNA means activation of memory. So if you have an activation of DNA, but you're not remembering things, you're not activating your DNA. Okay, so the whole point is that you are remembering, because bioelectrically, biochemically in the body, the geometry of the body, the biophysics of the body, when you come into that centripetal spin, all of your systems of information come into alignment, which allow you through resonance to begin to access your resonant particles in other universes, in other timelines, to also awaken consciousness. This is how you intercommunicate with your particles in other organisms, in other beings that are a part of you. So, how are we one? Well, our cells, through the cells in our body that exist just like the children that we have, in which when they are fear, when they are in a moment of fear, the mother feels it, the father can pick up on it, right? So that level of communication, telepathic communication, telesensory communication, is available through your particles in your body that are also communicating with interdimensional aspects of yourself. So when you communicate with ET beings that are from your lineage, well, they're all part of your lineage, but when you communicate and you become aware of these beings, it's through the cells of your body that you are activating that information. Because again, the cells are their own toroidal networks of bioelectrical information. And so the entire body, the vibrational frequency of the body collectively creates a vibrational signature. So each one of you has a vibrational signature. That vibrational signature is essentially aligning you and opening up the memory that allows you to access. Okay? So when your body is letting go of blockages and debris, you refine your body into a fluid state of conductivity, which allows you to access more information through the cells of the body, through your DNA. And through quantum non-locality, we are deeply entangled with all of those other particles in other systems, in other dimensions that share that vibrational signature that you have. So the intercommunication that you have in your DNA, essentially your DNA is that signature. Okay, so it's not about your physical vessel and the body, your DNA, because the physical vessel is a holographic projection of your DNA. Okay, your DNA has the vibrational frequency that is a signature to all of your relatives interdimensionally. And essentially, as we wake up consciousness, we begin to reunite ourselves with our many, many dimensional layers of ourselves in this entanglement dance. Now, experiential agreements, therefore, the work that is being done here is to alchemize any kind of experiential agreements that don't promote growth, vitality, evolution, and wellness for the collective. Because here's something that we learned through hundreds of contactees and their experiences with interdimensionals. These advanced civilizations do not operate from the same creator state as we do. They are more of a unified consciousness. And they are networks of unified consciousness. They even merge with their technology. Even their technology becomes organic and telepathic in that they navigate through the organism this vessel of transportation. So they are the future model of what we are eventually going to become. Those of you that are awake right now, those of you that are watching this conference, are going to be privy to that evolutionary process. And more importantly, are going to embody and train your body to begin to cultivate those kinds of higher technologies within your body. Um, Within this field of interconnectivity, the ability to discern our engagement in lower creation levels of this universe is where you begin to apply your free will. Now, until you're aware of your ability to discern, don't have free will. Because just look at this image, for example, that is a depiction of these fractals of interconnectivity through quantum non-locality. Okay, we are so deeply interconnected, and the choice of a person done in this sphere of consciousness is directly connected to all of these other mini micro worlds and universes. That's how powerful you are. This is how we are in training to become universes of creation ourselves. At some point in the future, we also become universes, right? We also become planets. We become solar systems. We become these interdimensional beings of creation, of instant manifestation. But in order for you to cultivate the discipline and the mastery to be an instant manifester, there's a lot of responsibility behind that. You can't be daydreaming. You can't be subconsciously fearful. You can't be subconsciously self hateful. There has to be a refinement to your vessel, a healing of all of those false truths in order to come in to that unity consciousness. That's what the embodiment and the incarnation in the human vessel is all about. You are in training to become a universe of creation, a world of creation, a planet of creation, interdimensional being. And so our job is to wake up consciousness in waking state and wake up consciousness in dream state to become aware of our fractals, all of our fractals that exist in all of these higher dimensions, and unify them. Just like when we are doing DNA reprogramming, you collect all of your traumatized parts of you throughout your life and you alchemize them and you bring them together and you integrate them with yourself in your heart through unconditional love and compassion. You're doing the exact same thing with your interdimensional counterparts, interdimensional aspects of yourself. Here is an example of that. You begin to connect with an Arcturian part of you. In that Arcturian realm, you are learning how to cultivate creation through the hybridization program. And what you are learning through that cultivation of a soul, of bringing a soul into this world, that's something that these higher dimensional realms focus on. They bring souls into worlds. And there's millions and millions of hybridization programs because it's not really a program. It's kind of the evolutionary process and the splicing of souls in order to self-organize consciousness into different planetary systems based on the vibrational frequency that is being created by every individual consciousness. So we input the creation of a soul based on what needs to be most evolved in ourselves. The more that we heal ourselves, the more our intention for bringing a soul into this plane or any other plane becomes intentional and conscious. And so the only organism that's going to ever even barely begin to know what that looks like is the organism that is deeply connected to those morphogenetic fields. Our morphogenetic field is essentially these realms. So within the physical body, our bioelectrical ability to connect these systems of the chakra, to clear the systems of the chakra, are to connect to the solar system, which are to connect to the morphogenetic field. The morphogenetic field is what brings you into your form. It's the instruction manual that brings into form your physical vessel and everything, all the agreements that you have chosen to experience in this lifetime. So it's through that genetic information that you begin to refine and access your higher parts of you through the morphogenetic field, through your chakra system. We have to activate the chakras of the higher bodies now. You know how to do the 7 chakras of your body, 9, 12, 13 chakras of the body, which directly correlate to the planets of this solar system, the 9 planets of the solar system, and then begin to enter into other solar systems that we are connected to through this morphogenetic field. It's a bioelectric plasma field. So the universe, okay, and this is it's going to be new science that's going to come out more now, but in reality the universe is like a liquid substance. It's more like a plasma. Okay, this is why everything is this bioelectrical structure. Through the morphogenetic field, we are intercommunicating with the universe through this liquid plasma like substance. Your DNA, which is plasma, communicating with these higher realms. The way that you bring this plasma into conductivity is through the rotation of vortex systems. And we are intercommunicating these bioelectrical charges that charge, hopefully through the heart center, through the alchemical transmutation of your heart into coherence. Why is coherence so important? Because your coherence is the portal way into this morphogenetic field, which connects you to the all. What happens when you activate your 7th and your 8th chakra? You connect to the DNA of the earth, the morphogenetic field of the earth. When you activate your 8th, your 9th, and your 10th, you're connecting to the morphogenetic field of this solar system, which are portal ways into your ancestral and interdimensional aspects. When you activate the 11th and the 12th, you're tuning into these higher dimensional realms, all within the matrix. This is all, so this holographic matrix, the vibrational frequency of our history within the matrix can withstand 13 dimensional layers of frequency. Above that, we begin to enter into the morphogenetic field of this solar system galaxies, and the collection of galaxies that we are in resonance with, which are all encoded in our DNA, which we are all ancestors and descendants of these genetic creations as a form of evolution through consciousness and the refinement through the body. So every single one of these interconnected systems are like a web within the plasma of bioelectricity that through the charges of our heart center can connect with. Your job is to activate your body, to bring your body into a Merkaba state so that you can begin to access these dimensional realms. The Merkaba is based on the Fibonacci sequence, the numerical symmetry of coming into order in the body. The entire universe is organized by this numerical sequence. So to get familiarized with this sequence is to be one with nature, because this is where we begin to encounter the ability to access higher dimensional frequency ranges.
Geraldine, just a few more minutes left.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So, and just to end this, essentially, what we are cultivating in our physical body, okay, is the light body. Integrate body, mind, and soul is the access into these higher dimensions. And when you create this Merkaba light body in your body, when you're creating a life or when you're creating anything, you are healing the human race, you are healing the planet Earth, and you also know how to discern what is the best for the collective. So this is exactly what we are trying to create here. It is a very powerful position that you can bring yourself into as a universal citizen of co-creation. So my invitation to you is to begin to work with these systems of your body. Activate the 7th and the 8th chakra. Within the 7th and the 8th chakra, when you close your first 3 chakras and open your heart, your throat, and your third eye, you begin to invert the vortex in your body to turn into the Merkaba light body. You disconnect your leaking centrifugal energy into a centripetal spin, in which, as you activate your heart for unconditional love, you unify to create that implosion within you of alchemical transmutation. You transmute all fear into love within your physical vessel. And the activation of the seventh and the eighth is the ability to manifest into this physical realm. And it pulls data from infinite potential source, and it pulls data from all of your DNA, which holds the information that we talked about in today's presentation. So, my invitation to you, my loves, is to sit in meditation as much as possible in order to bring stillness into the body, in order for you to cultivate gray matter in your brain. Where did you guys go? Can't find it. In order, let me stop screen share. In order for you to cultivate this incredible ascension system and communicate and unite with these interdimensional aspects of yourself so that you can evolve into these universal systems of co-creation, because our function here is to create, and the ability to create and the refinement of that creation tool is actually one of the most powerful tools that you have available to you. So I will end there. Yes, if you are interested in working with me, either with a hypnotherapy or DNA reprogramming, you can visit my website at geraldineorozco.com. And I also have tons of free content, and I go deep into these concepts on my YouTube channel. Right now, I'm hosting a 30-day challenge into understanding death and rebirth, which is extremely important for this year. So I think we're on day 10th today, or so. Check out the challenge on my channel, Geraldine Orozco. And then, we are doing an incredible panel with Neil on Portal to Ascension, and I'm so sorry. Let me just refresh my memory what the theme was of
I
that.
can pull it up here. We got it
Beloved
here.
Neil, yes, if you can, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you see
So
it?
sorry. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, yeah. So for this presentation, I actually made a very, very special presentation that I've been working on for about 6 months, and it's a lot of research. But what we're going to take a look at is essentially looking at the genetics behind that, behind the hybridization program. And a lot of people that are in the hybridization program believe that we are being abducted and utilized and manipulated for a negative agenda. And I will say that some of the hybridization program is very parasitic. But the problem and the truth is that we are creators, and our DNA, the alchemization of that DNA, makes you the most powerful above any parasite that exists in your own subconscious mind. So we're going to go deep into the mechanics of that, how to actually do that, using alchemy, using transmutation, and connecting with your unified self in the lucid realms. So I'm very excited to have this presentation with you guys and to dive deep into that.
Amazing. And are you saying that within this presentation, we're going to kind of be able to rewrite contracts so that no one can be a victim, if you will, to a parasitic hybridization?
That's exactly the point of this, as is really the true empowerment of yourself as a soul in all dimensional realms. And that's really what my purpose is in my work, is to empower you as a human in your navigation as soon as possible, because that's what it's about. It's the mastery of that navigation in all dimensions. So yeah, thank you so much. It was such an honor to be here with you. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you, Geraldine.